Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation on the Campus Telecommunications upgrade. My name is Lexi Potter, and I do communications here at IT Solutions. So in the first half of this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the background of this project. Why do we need a new phone system? What does it mean for you in campus? And then we'll talk about our recommended new system and the features. In the second half of this video, our technical team will do a demonstration of the proposed new phone system, and they'll answer some frequently asked questions. So I want to mention that there will be change on campus. The telecommunications system is due for an upgrade, but ITS is going to be here for you throughout the whole process. Really, this demonstration is meant for general users, but we do know that there are many different types of uses on campus with phones. Some users may be very heavy phone users. Some may even be part of a call center here on campus. But we have been and will continue to work with individual groups to provide resources, training, and really work to design the best solution for each group. So rest assured, more training and resources will become available as we progress in this project. I also want to introduce the project team that has been working behind the scenes for a long time to make this project come into fruition. So we have Brian, Jeffrey, Julie, Holly, and Joel, all doing some really great work behind the scenes, and you'll get to see them later in the video as they demonstrate the phone system. So why do we need to upgrade our campus telecommunications system? Well, it's really just time. The current system is approaching end of life and lacks modern features. So what that means is that the phones are not supported by the vendor anymore, they're no longer cost effective, and they're not up to date with modern technology. Phones have come a long way in the past few years, and we really want to be able to take advantage of those new features, but just can't with the current system that we're on. To put things into perspective, here's a timeline. The university phone system was last upgraded in 2005. So that's when we installed the Cisco phone system that everyone is used to today. Then if we fast forward to 2016, we replaced the telephone sets. So that was just the physical telephone set. That was not an upgrade to the system itself. Then fast forwarding to 2021, IT Solutions began researching new phone systems because we knew that coming around 2023, our current system would reach end of life. So now currently in 2022, we have been running a pilot with our new proposed phone system, and we're starting to gather that campus feedback to prepare for the implementation. And that implementation, looking forward, should be coming around spring of 2023 with the new system. So after researching and experimenting with different options, we are proposing the Zoom phone system as our new campus telecommunications system. Why? It fits university needs, it provides new features, it saves on costs, and it integrates with existing tech on campus. And one other great thing is that 6 other Minnesota State universities are already using or are researching Zoom Phone. So that's really great to know that it is backed by other universities as well. So now we'll move into Zoom Phone benefits. One thing that I'll mention right away is that your telephone number will not change, which is great. But what will change will be some really awesome new features. So the most important thing is that your phone will be able to work wherever you are. So there's a lot more flexibility with Zoom Phone than our current system. It opens up a whole new world of app capability. So what that means is you'll be able to access your phone via your laptop, your smart device, or a regular desk phone. Whether you're on or off campus, your university number will never change. So that's something that's really great for people who might do telework, who might travel frequently in their work, or maybe are just working in a different place around campus. You can bring your phone with you on your smart devices or your laptop. Another really great feature is that we can now send text messages right from our university number. So this is a feature that a lot of people have been asking for quite some time. You no longer will have to give out your personal cell phone number for class or work-related texting, and you can enjoy that unlimited texting plus file and image sharing right within the app. So you can utilize that on your laptop or on your smart devices. You can also customize a lot of things with Zoom Phone that previously you maybe weren't able to customize all on your own. So for example, you can set custom office hours and decide how calls are handled. You can determine what happens to after-hour calls, automatically block unwanted calls. You can even record calls on demand and tons more awesome features. So now I'm going to talk about a few more top features, and then I'll do a comparison between the current Cisco system and the proposed new Zoom Phone system so that you can see a side by side. And I might repeat myself a little bit in these next slides, but that's okay. It's a lot of information. So like I said, it will open up a whole new world of flexibility available via multiple devices on or off campus. And it utilizes that same Zoom app and interface that you're already used to. You can also easily switch from a voice call to a Zoom video call. So if you need to elevate into a video call, you can easily do that. You can share your screen, be face-to-face. The texting with the university number again. There's also going to be better safety features with enhanced location accuracy. So what that means is when you call emergency services, 911, they'll be able to better locate you within the building that you're in with more accuracy so they can get to you quicker. It's really going to save a lot of cost for the university. There will be no long distance fees nationwide throughout the US and Canada, which is great. And then there's lots of customizable options, including captioned voicemail messages and other accessibility features as well. So now a quick side-by-side comparison between our current Cisco phone system and the recommended Zoom phone system. So starting at the top here, that basic calling and voicemail, that's just receiving calls, making calls, and getting voicemail. It's available in our current Cisco system and also will be available in the Zoom phone system. The emergency broadcast. So when you get those test broadcasts every first Wednesday of the month, and if there were a real emergency on campus, this is the system that we would use to get that message across. Cisco does that and Zoom Phone does that as well. So now when we get into more of those additional features as we go down the list here, things like texting, that's something that the current Cisco phone system is not capable of. Zoom Phone is. Elevating to a video call, Cisco system is not able to do that right now. Zoom Phone would be able to. That availability via multiple devices. So the Cisco current system does not have availability via those apps. Like we talked about, Zoom Phone does, so you can have that app on your laptop, your smart devices, iPad, smartphone, whatever that may be. And then this next one, physical phone is not required. So because the Cisco system currently does not have that app capability, you have to have just your physical phone on your desk. There's no other devices that you can use, whether that be your laptop or smartphone. With Zoom Phone, you can choose. You have tons of flexibility. You can choose to have just a regular desk phone and no apps. You can choose to have just the app and no desk phone, or you can choose to have both. So it really depends on what works best for you and your work and how comfortable you are with those apps or a desk phone. And then of course, it's going to save a lot of money for the university, which is fantastic. All right, so I'll go ahead and pass it off to our technical team for the demonstration.
One thing that was mentioned in the presentation, very important, is that our phone system is going to have to change. The current Cisco phones that we have are end of life, so they have to go. We're going to be getting new phones. It's going to be a significant investment for the university, so we thought it would be a really great, opportune time to make sure that we're purchasing a phone system in the future that's going to be something that really fits the needs of the university today and the needs of the university in the future. So we've been watching the state of the telecommunication industry over the past 6 to 8 years, paying particularly close attention to a couple of different vendors. One is Microsoft, who's been taking the phones. They have Skype phones right now, Skype for Business phones. And what they've been doing is moving that into the Teams platform. So now they have Teams phones. They've been working on that for about 5 years. But during the time, that last 5 years, they really haven't been doing a lot of innovation with the phone system. It's really kind of a basic phone system. And if you wanted more advanced features, we would have to purchase third-party add-ons and add those in, which adds expense. They've also made it where it's really complex to administer the phones, and we're looking for other ways that we can expand our telecommunication systems. We've also been looking at Cisco phones. Now, Cisco has been taking their phone system and migrating it into WebEx. And actually, WebEx is a platform much like we have today with Teams and Zoom, and not too crazy about having to buy into yet a third platform for web conferencing in order to keep having the phone capabilities that we have with Cisco phones. Another thing with Cisco phones is that the cost of their telephones is probably about twice as much as other options. So we've been looking at other providers too. Two of the main phone providers right now in cloud phone systems are RingCentral and Zoom. Both of those companies are fairly new, they're fairly young, and they've been investing a lot in innovations to the effect that they have new innovations that they roll out just about every month along with new features. So we've been evaluating and looking at RingCentral. RingCentral is probably about 4 times the cost of Zoom. So we've been focusing on Zoom along with about 5 other Min-State institutions. One of those Min-State institutions, Southeast Tech, has already purchased and rolled out Zoom Phone, and they said that everything is going really well. But what we've been doing over the past year with Zoom is we've been working with them to try to integrate and develop new capabilities into the phone system that we need. And they've been doing a really good job of doing that. So we've been focusing on Zoom phones along with some of the other Min-State schools, and we like what we see, and what we want to do is get everybody together to look at Zoom phones, imagine the capabilities that we might have with Zoom phones. So here's something that I want you to keep in mind as we do our demo. I want you to think about how your university phone number might be a lot more useful with Zoom Phone. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Julie, and she's going to introduce you to the line of phones. One thing I want to mention is with Zoom Phone, we also have the capability of having a whole bunch of different phones and different models. So we've been looking at phones for over the past 6 months. We've taken some of the phones that are really complex, even more complex than these phones, and to the effect that if you sat down and you looked at the phone, you'd really wonder, how do I even use this thing, or how do I make a call on this thing? So we've weeded some of those out. We've also been looking at phones that are pretty old. They've obviously been developed 10, 15 years ago using old technology, so we've eliminated those. We've also looked at some of the more newer phones that are all touchscreen. Some of them don't even have handsets to go with them. But really what we found is that, and they run apps too, but they don't really run those apps very well, and they're really expensive, so we've eliminated those too. So what we've ended up with is this line of phones. What we noted about these phones is that they're really good quality. They're built really well. They have great sound quality. They have great features on them. And we really think that this is something that's similar to a Cisco phone, so that it's not going to be something that people have to learn brand new again. It does have a nice clean layout. The buttons are in a good spot. We don't think you're going to need a lot of training for this. So that's some of the reasons that we're really focused on the Yealink phones. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Julie to introduce you to these phones.
Welcome, everyone. So the first phone I'm going to talk about is the conference phone. This is the Poly Trio 8800. And as you can see, it looks a lot like the conference phones we have now. Same functions and features. It shouldn't be a real hard transition, so that's about all I have to say about that one. The next phone I'm going to talk about is a Yealink T33G. And this will be replacing the classrooms, hallway phones, and a lot of the maybe less used phones on campus. It has 4 programmable buttons along the side, so we'll be able to keep our speed dials for classroom support and security. It also has our 4 function keys along the bottom, just like our Cisco phones do now, for our transfer, our conference calling, hold, do not disturb, and there's more features that go with that as well. The next phone I'm going to be talking about is the general purpose phone for the campus. Most of us will be receiving this phone, and it has 10 programmable buttons on it. And if that's not enough, there is a compatible sidecar or add-on that can go with that to give you more buttons. It also has the 4 function keys along the bottom for your transfer, call hold, do not disturb, and conference calling. So those are the 3 phones I'm going to talk about, physical phones. And now I'm going to talk about another phone. It's our Softphone or our app. So the Softphone or app will go on your desktop, your laptop, or even your mobile device. So you can work anywhere on any device. How that works is you would pull up your Softphone app and you'd see your dial pad, and you can make calls out from that dial pad. You can answer calls coming in from that. You can transfer calls, put calls on hold. You can put other lines on that. You can get your voicemail from that. So I'm going to turn it back over to Brian, and then he'll tell you a little bit more, and then we're going to do some testing.
All right, thanks, Julie. So when we're talking about the Softphone, really all it is the Zoom app that you've been using for the past couple of years. So on the screen, we have the Zoom app that's on my laptop. So this is my laptop screen. I also have over here to the right, this is my cell phone. So I have the screen mirrored so that you can see what I'm looking at on my cell phone. When we take Zoom, your Zoom license, and then we take a Zoom phone license and add that onto Zoom, what that does is that gives you an icon, a little phone icon that's right in the middle in the top of the screen if you're on your laptop. If you're on your phone, I have a Zoom app on my phone. I can click that. Right here you see meetings, and here I have meetings as well that'll pop up. So over here, Julie, if you could tap on the phone icon on my laptop. And I have over here on my phone, the phone icon is here at the bottom of the screen, so I'll click on that. And really what you're looking at is my call history, same as on my laptop. So my phone and my laptop are the same. I also have a little waffle that's up here on my cell phone, so if I click that, I have the dial pad, same as I have on my laptop, and from here, I can place a call. Same as on my laptop, I can use that and I can call the number. And that's how the phone app works. So we have hard phones, regular handsets, and then we have the Softphone, the Zoom Softphone, the Zoom app.
So your smartphones, iPhones, Androids, Windows, Macintosh, all those.
Right. Multi-platform, so it'll work. The same app works on all types of different mobile devices.
All right, so now we're going to do a little test. We're going to have Holly call Brian's work phone number, and we're going to show you how all the phones ring at once. His desk phone, his mobile phone, and his phone on his computer.
This is just my personal cell phone. It doesn't need to be anything special. AT&T, Verizon, just calling his office phone number.
So my cell phone is ringing, my laptop is ringing, and my desk phone are all ringing at the same time. So I can just pick it up just like I normally would. Hello, this is Brian.
Hey Brian, it's Holly.
Hi Holly, I can't talk right now. I'm right in the middle of a demo. Right, so you saw in here that I've configured it so that all my devices ring at once. If I'm in my office, I can pick up my phone, or if I'm out of the office, let's say I'm working from home today, or let's say I'm traveling and I'm in an airport and I have my phone available, I'll get that call no matter where I am. If I'm working and I have my laptop and I'm working away on that, I'll get that call on the laptop.
All right, now we're going to have Holly place another call to Brian's work phone, and we're going to have Brian not answer that phone call so we can show you how the voicemail shows up on all the devices and how you can delete it.
All right, this time I'm in an airport and my phone is ringing, but I'm busy, I'm getting ready to get on the plane, so I'm just going to decline that call and let it go to voicemail.
I'm currently unavailable. Please leave a message and I'll call you back.
Hey Brian, it's Holly. Please call me back.
All right, so now I have an indication on my laptop. These tabs across the top on the Zoom app are history, which is my call history. Next tab over is voicemail. Next tab over are lines. Next tab over is SMS or text messages. So I do see that I have a voicemail message. So if I'm on my laptop, I can click that tab and I can see that I have a new voicemail message. And if I'm on my cell phone, I can click the same tab, SMS, on my cell phone, click on the voicemail tab, and click on that message, and I can listen to it.
Hey Brian, it's Holly. Please call me back.
And also, you notice that Zoom did the speech-to-text translation, so I can see here on the screen, without having to play the message, "Hi Brian, it's Holly. Please call me back."
Also on the physical phones, you see that we have a new light here that's flashing. That's because he got a new phone call. And the same history buttons that you'll see there will be history as well as there, and you'll see a voicemail icon.
One other thing too is if I'm on my laptop, I can click on that voicemail message, and I can either read it, or I can also play it on my laptop.
Hey Brian, it's Holly. Please call me back. This also sends a copy to your email.
Both the audio will be there and the voice transcription.
And now, after I've listened to that message, I can delete it. And you can see that it deleted from my app over here on my cell phone. You see that it also deleted over here on my laptop. And if I were in my office and I would click the messages button,
Welcome to your voicemail.
and I would log
Please
in with my
enter your
PIN,
PIN number, followed
that message would also be gone. However, that message, that copy of that message that's in the email will still be there.
So the next thing we're going to demonstrate is SMS text messaging, and we're going to have Holly call Brian's desk phone.
So Holly is actually going to be playing the role of a student now. So we're going to call her Student Holly.
All right, so I'm using just my Verizon cell phone to send a text message to my professor, Brian. It doesn't need to be Zoom to Zoom texting. It can just be, your AT&T, Verizon, whichever phone you want, you can send a message.
All right, so I got a notification through Zoom that I have a new text message. And I see on my SMS tab on my phone that I have a message waiting, a text message waiting. I see over on my laptop that I have an SMS text message waiting. So if I click on that, I can see that I have a new text message. Same as I have here on my phone. I can read that text message and I can respond to it. If I'm working and I have my laptop, I can respond back to Holly, and then she'll get that text message. Notice that what I'm using here is my office phone number, and I can be sending text messages and receiving text messages. However, those text messages don't come through on my phone. I actually have to use the Zoom app on a mobile device, so a laptop, desktop, or my cell phone in order to get text messaging.
I'm part of the support team here, and because a lot of the people I deal with don't have working email, or they're prospective students that don't have an email system or don't listen to their voicemail, text is really a game changer for me. It probably will be for a lot of professors as well.
So Student Holly, did you get that email message that I sent you last week?
Which email?
Well, I tried calling you earlier today and I was going to leave you a voicemail message, and by the way, your voicemail box is full.
I don't check my voicemail, and I don't answer phone calls that I don't know.
So this is something that we hear from people all the time, faculty and staff members, is that it's so difficult to get a hold of students because you send them emails and they don't get it. You may try to call their cell phone number and they don't pick up phone numbers that they don't recognize. So maybe text messaging might be a very convenient way that you can get a hold of people.
All right, the next thing we're going to show you is our InformaCast emergency broadcast. This is a test that we do the first Wednesday of each month to send out emergency broadcasts if we would need to. So we're going to go ahead and let Brian and Jeff talk about that.
One very important function of our Cisco phone system today is it actually is a PA system. So in case of a very urgent campus emergency, like a tornado or some other urgent campus emergency, University Security Dispatcher will be able to send out that notification just like if it were a PA system. The types of communication that we would have after the fact are Star Alert. We'd send an email message, post things on social media, post things on our university website. But the very first urgent form of communication that we have is our actual phone system. So when we were looking around for what other communication systems might be great for the university, this was an important feature that we wanted to keep within the phone system. And the same software that we have, it's called InformaCast, works on Zoom phone as well. So we want to demonstrate that to you right now.
Like Brian was saying, software we use right now is called Informacast. And Informacast works with the Cisco phone system, and it also works with speakers such as this to broadcast our Wednesday alerts. I'm sure you're familiar with them, like Brian was saying. That needs to continue to work through the transition between Cisco and any other phone system we're going to support. And Zoom supports it very well. What I want to show off is a little bit kind of the back room, how security has been able to do this in the past, and we'll be able to continue to do this in the future. There's two basic kinds of types of messages that can be sent across. One's a canned message, which is just a brief or a consistent message you want to send every time, and kind of an ad hoc one where you can do live. Our student health services, for example, uses the same system to be able to say things like, waiting room 2 is currently busy. And I'm going to show you that kind of messaging right now, and it's a fairly simple system. You call into Informacast.
Welcome to Single Wire Informacast System. Please enter a dialcast number.
And then I put a special code in, and security would do this.
Sending broadcast.
This audio broadcast is simultaneously being sent to all Zoom-connected phones, such as the Helix phone and the IT speaker. This is intended for warnings across campus. Thanks for attending this session.
And it's hard to tell, but all the phones simultaneously picked up on the same message, as did the speakers. And just to clarify here, you don't have to have a desk phone on your desk anymore with Zoom. You can just use the Softphone. And if a number, more than an expected number has soft phones, we may need to have more of this type of speakers in common areas to cover that gap. Like I promised, the other type of message other than these canned messages is live broadcasts. And this would be used for an emergency because it's hard to know what you're going to get for an emergency. So this would be a test of a live broadcast. It works very similarly to the canned one. Call a special phone number.
Welcome to the Single Wire Informacast System.
Then I
Please enter a dialcast number.
Then I put a special code in, and then I'll just talk. This is a test of the live broadcast system. And once again, it comes out real time on the phones and on the speakers. Pretty similar to the Cisco system, but we want to have that continuity of service because there'll be a time where both systems are in play.
The one thing that you may have noticed is that comes across on our physical phones and our speakers, but it does not come across on the soft phones. But we're working on a pop-up desktop notification so that if there were an emergency, they can also type out that urgent emergency and have that pop up on desktops. So that's all integrated with the system. And we have that capability today. So that's our demonstration. We wanted just to show you some of the basic features and functionality, but like what you heard before is there's a ton of other things that are available. So some of you may be looking at this demonstration and think, well, that's really kind of underwhelming. Phones, we already have phones and we've been using phones all of our lives. Some of you might be thinking, wow, it's about time I finally get 10 buttons on my phone, expandable to 70. But these phones really have a lot of capabilities for the university. We talked about how it's going to be easy to use. We can set it on your desk and everybody's going to really know how it's used. It'd be very similar to the Cisco phone that you have today. So an important takeaway that we wanted to make sure that you're aware of is, number one, all of the phones are going to have to be replaced with the upgrade. So there is going to be a change. The second thing is, at the beginning of this, I asked you to really think about what are the possibilities that you might have of your university phone number being a lot more capable and useful than it is today. So we talked about the flexibility of Zoom Phone. Let's say that you're somebody that has a phone on their desk right now and that's all you want. You don't want to have the Zoom app on your laptop or your cell phone. You don't want to worry about text messaging. All you want is a phone. You have a phone on your desk right now. When it rings, you answer it. You can call people, you can pick up on voicemail, and that's all you want. We got you covered because you can just have that phone. You don't have to worry about anything else. Let's say that you're the kind of person that doesn't get a lot of phone calls and you say, I don't even want a phone on my desk. All I want to have is the Zoom app on my desktop or laptop, and that's all I want. We got you covered there too. You can have that. Let's say if you're the kind of person that works in the lab. You're in your office for a couple hours and then you're out doing some recruiting, you're working with students, and you just want to bring up that cell phone. Maybe it's on your laptop, maybe it's on your cell phone, and you just want to be able to make calls and answer those voicemail messages. We got you covered, you can do that as well. So the flexibility is there to make Zoom Phone work exactly how you'd like it to work and fit your needs. So we talked about the different phones, the different features. Julie introduced those phones to you. Holly, professional Holly, talked about the voicemail to text transcription that happens. So that's back. A lot of people are going to be really excited about that. We heard when we had to take that feature away, we heard from a lot of people that they were pretty disappointed in that. So that's going to add that accessibility, and it's a lot easier to go through a lot of voicemails if you can just read the transcription. You don't have to listen to those messages. Student Holly demonstrated how Zoom Phone, if you have the Zoom app, you can send and receive text messages using your university phone number. You don't have to give out your personal cell phone number. If you're a professor, you can tell your students, if you have a question, just send a text message to my office phone, or you can try calling me. So you have that flexibility as well. Then Jeffrey demonstrated the emergency broadcast capabilities of the phone system so that we'll continue to have those capabilities as well throughout the university. The third thing to take away is we want to talk a little bit about the cost savings. These Yealink phones are about half the cost of Cisco phones. So we already have a pot of money with the university that we've been saving up for because we knew that these phones were going to be end of life and they would have to be repurchased. So we already have that. People will be able to determine what kind of phone best fits their needs, and they'll be able to get that phone at no cost. Some other cost savings that we'll have, though, are a little bit more behind the scenes. We have no cost for long distance service from the US and Canada, so we don't have to do that billing anymore. So that means that Julie won't have to do a monthly billing, our developers won't have to take the data and split that out into different phone bills. The people in the business office won't have to do the billing each month either. So there is going to be a lot of other cost savings as well. And we're projecting right now that the cost savings are going to be probably about $400,000 to $500,000 over a 5-year period. So that'll be savings to the university.
All right, so we've been testing these phones now for quite a few months. So I just wanted to go and ask each of us that have been using these phones what our favorite things are about the Zoom system. I'm going to start with you, Jeff.
Well, I'm part of the support team, and we've had 14 people using these phones for a while now. Some people are faculty members who really just wanted a standard phone. Some wanted just the Softphone, and we've had technical people like Brian, who's been, really wants to know the features. All of them have been pretty satisfied with the results in that big spectrum. That's pretty good. And the one thing that hasn't been mentioned, that they have a USB port on the back that lets you do other features like record phone calls and use Bluetooth mics, and that gives you a lot of other options that we haven't had in the Cisco phones.
How about you, Holly?
I like the texting feature. I think it's awesome that there's another way to communicate without having to connect with students or your professors with a phone call. You can just send them a text message now, so it's a game changer for sure.
I like the fact that my cell phone is actually 2 phones. I can have my personal cell phone or my work cell phone, and I don't have to give that number out to just anybody. But it's also my work phone. So if I do happen to be away from my desk, it still works. I can make phone calls and it'll register as my office phone number, not my cell phone number, so I don't have to give that out. I have to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's always with me. But let's say that I'm an hourly worker and I only work for certain periods of time. I can set up that phone so that after hours, if I would happen to get a call, I can tell it to either be transferred to somebody else's phone, or I can configure it so that it goes directly to voicemail and I can pick it up the next day.
All right, my favorite thing about the phones is that you as users will be able to make some of your own changes, such as voicemail. I get a lot of calls every day, people wanting to know what their voicemail pin is, or they've forgotten their voicemail pin. So you can go and you can look up that voicemail pin number, you can change that pin number, you can set up some block calls if you want to block some calls that you've been getting some people that shouldn't be calling you. You can set up your business hours, so you can get calls just during your business hours, and then after your business hours it can go to voicemail, or you can choose where that goes. You can set up your own music on hold, and Brian has this app up here and it shows you where you can go and do that.
And again, this is the same Zoom app that you've been using all along, so it's just one additional tab that happens to be on the side, but you've already got the software in your machine. There is training available. We have knowledge articles online. There's videos from Zoom and technical articles from Zoom. So if you want to know the basic features, that's stuff we've already got online. If you want to know the more complicated, complete feature list, that's available on Zoom.
With any questions that you have, you can communicate those questions to the team, and we'll be able to answer those. And we're also gathering frequently asked questions and even infrequently asked questions. Just a reminder that what we're showing you are just some of the features and functionality of Zoom Phone. There's a lot more that it can do, a lot more that you can do to really personalize the phone system and your phone number to work exactly how you would like to have it, and make it work so that it works with however you choose to do your work. So thank you very much for attending.